To call this meeting to order. Welcome here, everyone. And council, I've got opening for today. And yesterday, after we met with AMM, I had not had an opening ready yet, so I asked my deputy. I said I don't have an opening. He said I'd just do something about the new year. It'll be okay. I said, thank you for supporting me and give me good advice. I decided to do the opening on something like a highlight for me as mayor of 2024. And the year of 2024 marked a historic benchmark for Steinbach. As a city, we witnessed a record number of housing permits issued. This reflects our rapid growth and increasing appeal as a place to live, work, and raise a family. This milestone demonstrates Steinbach's commitment to accommodating its growing population and underscores its status as a regional hub in southeastern Manitoba. But what lies ahead for Steinbach as it builds on its own success? The surge in housing permits signals a strong population growth in Steinbach. Steinbach is known for its family-friendly atmosphere, strong community values, and the city has become more attractive destination for families, retirees, and newcomers to Canada. With affordable housing options and a high quality of life, I would like to expect the population of Steinbach to continue to climb in the coming years. This growth will likely spur on further demand for houses, services, infrastructure, presenting both opportunities and challenges for the city's administration and council. Economic growth often goes hand in hand with population increases, and Steinbach is no exception. The construction boom tied to the record number of housing permits has already stimulated our local economy, creating jobs in construction, real estate, and related industries. The housing sector thrives, and other sectors such as retail, healthcare, and education are poised to expand to meet the needs of a growing population. Steinbach's entrepreneurial spirit and diverse business community position it well to capitalize on this momentum, potentially attracting new industries and investments. Rapid growth inevitably places pressure on existing infrastructure. Roads, schools, recreation facilities, and utilities must keep up the pace with the needs of a larger population. In response, Council has prioritized infrastructure investments to support sustainable growth. Projects such as road expansions and enhanced utility systems are on the horizon. Looking ahead, Steinbach has an opportunity to shape its future as a thriving, inclusive, and sustainable city. Strategic urban planning will be essential to ensure that growth is managed responsibly. Initiatives such as mixed-use developments, green spaces, and smart growth strategies can help the city maintain its livability while accommodating new residents furthermore. Fostering community engagement will be key to preserving Steinbach's strong sense of identity and belonging. After a record-setting year for housing permits in 2024, Steinbach is on the brink of an exciting period of growth and development. By embracing growth and proactively addressing challenges it brings, the city can position itself as a model for balanced and sustainable development. Steinbach's future growth holds promise as it continues to build on its rich heritage and adapt to the demands of a vibrant and expanding community. Thank you. Okay, Council, we have the agenda in front of us, looking for a motion to adopt. Councillor Penner. Yes?
Sorry for the interruption. Recommendation is to add one item to the agenda. If Council could approve it as amended.
Sure.
That would be 8A. That was the late item that was provided to City Council earlier.
Oh, the operating agreement?
Correct.
Okay, just before we adopt the agenda, we will add the item 8A, the Southeast Event Center operating agreement. Okay, now looking for a motion to approve. Councillor Penner, second by Councillor Swagstra. Call for the question. All those in favor? Opposed? That is carried. Council, we have the minutes of December 17th, 2020, the regular council meeting. In front of us, to start on page 1, looking for a motion to approve. Councillor Hebert, second by Councillor Hebert. Call for the question. All's in favor? Opposed? That is carried. Is there any business arising from the minutes? Okay, seeing none, we'll move on. There's no public hearing, no delegation, so we will go directly into reports and recommendations of city manager, which is 8A. This is the Southeast Event Center operating agreement. This is an attachment that was put in our mailboxes earlier today. Mr. Worthing, could you please introduce this file?
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. And for members of council, administration has been working for several months on an operating agreement with the designated operator for the soon-to-open Southeast Event Center, and that is Southeast Events Group, Inc. As I mentioned, the discussions have been taking place since early 2024. And I am very pleased to present the agreement for council's consideration as per the attached in the package. The agreement is quite lengthy. I don't anticipate going into reading certain sections. However, I have provided a summary for council's information, just noting some of the key components that are included in the agreement. And for example, section 1.3 deals with the term of the agreement, which will run for 3 years, ending February 14th, 2028. Article 2 mentions items surrounding general operations and the associated activities within the facility, and that those activities will be the responsibility of SEG. Section 5.3 mentions SEG's proposed annual operating budgets for the facility, and that they will be subject to a council review and approval process. Article 8, for example, will deal with mechanisms for the management and or disposition of operating surpluses, deficits, or accumulated surplus funds as may arise with the operation of the facility. Article 7 covers some duties that the city of Steinbach has agreed to provide on behalf of the operation of the facility to be billed back to SEG on a cost recovery basis, and that essentially will cover the back of house or ice making and ice related maintenance activities. There are some significant funding components that are represented in the agreement, which generally are represented in Article 9. That pertains to an annual operating grant funding support. City Council originally identified in the Memorandum of Understanding dated back in 2019 that the city is prepared to commit at least for a 5-year period annual funding up to a maximum of 0.5 mils of the city's general municipal levy, which is the equivalent of approximately $700,000 annually. Other than that, there are some specific references to general operating principles that both the city and SEG have agreed will be adopted or followed in order to support minor and community-based programming within the facility in a manner similar to how the city of Steinbach has traditionally operated the Centennial and T.G. Smith arenas. With respect to this agreement, from administration standpoint, we believe this is an agreement that will put the community and the facility and both SEG and the city of Steinbach in a solid footing and provide an essential framework to follow that hopefully will lead to the success of the operation and a great facility for the community. Recommendation from administration is for council to approve the attached agreement.
Okay, thank you, Mr. Worthing. Council, how would you like to proceed? Council Swagstra.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. I'll make a motion to approve the operating agreement.
Second by Councillor Hebert. Go ahead, Councillor.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. This is something that is the city is doing for the first time, that normally the city has operated our recreation facilities through our internal departments, but in this case, we have made an agreement with the Southeast Events Group, SEG, to operate the Southeast Events Center. This board is made up of people who have a lot of experience in business, and I think that this will work out quite well. And as the city manager noted, this is a 3-year agreement, and obviously to be renewed afterwards. The operations and the general running of the facility will be the responsibility of SEG, but council still retains oversight over the annual budget, and so council will review and approve proposed operating budgets. The city is agreeing to provide 0.5 mils of the municipal levy that works out to about $700,000 annually. This is something that we'd agreed to back in 2019 with the original memorandum of understanding, so this is consistent with that. Obviously, we recognize with a recreation facility that there is a need for a subsidy. Recreation facilities cost money to run, and so this is it's not unusual that the city would be making a contribution like this. And SEG has also agreed to follow the operating principles and policies that the city has in place in regards to community-based programming and programming for minors and such, because we want this facility to be as accessible as possible. And so I appreciate the work of our city staff on this, and I also appreciate the flexibility of the SEG group. And again, this is the largest project we've ever done in our history as a city. And I think it's appropriate that we have tapped the expertise of these individuals to help us with running the facility. So I'm happy to move to approve the operating agreement.
Anything further?
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. I've read this document at length, and to say the least, it's very impressive. A lot of hard work has gone into it, and I like legislation, I like policy, and so I spent a couple hours reading this, and a complex document, but what is interesting about the document and about the negotiation stuff is the consensus between the city and SEG, and the work that's been done to everybody coming on board and agreeing to this. I mean, the document covers a lot. It covers not only the inside of the event center, it covers the outside, the snow removal and all the rest of it. It talks about scheduling and programs and the financial responsibilities of everybody involved. So I'd just like to thank the people that put this together, and I think it's a solid agreement for the city for us to feel that we have covered our liabilities and we have covered our bases to make this thing work. Thank you.
Thank you. Anything further of council? Anything in closing?
Nope.
Well, council, I too feel that this is it's a very good operating agreement. It's a great document. I know that this has taken a lot of time, and administration's worked very hard on it together with the SEG group, both working on behalf of their organizations, like our city administration working on behalf of us and our city and the residents of our city, and SEG working on behalf of them and their organization and the operating of this facility. But I think this is a document that walks down the middle of the road. It makes it good for both. I think it works well for Steinbach. It's going to work well for the SEG group as well. And I think that I'm thankful for all the hard work that went into this document. And I think it is right for us to approve this. I think this is a good working document for the first 5 years, and we'll see where it needs to be tweaked after that. Call for the question. All those in favor? Opposed? That is carried. Okay, council, moving on. We got 9A, accounts payable, at the back of the book. We've all had a chance to review. Looking for a motion to approve. Councillor Susan Penner, second by Councillor Hebert. Any comments? No. Call for the question. All's in favor? Opposed? That is carried. Okay, we've got 9B, the interim operating budget. This is a matter of housekeeping. This is something we do every year. Mr. Workney, is there anything you want to highlight here before we approve it?
This, as you mentioned, Mr. Mayor, is administrative and fairly routine. It just gives the city operating budget authority until council reviews and approves the financial plan for 2025.
Okay, council, like we say, this is interim. It just gives us some wiggle room and operating room for, until we do approve our budget. Anyone move the motion? Call, Councillor Siemens,
Motion to approve.
second by Councillor Hebert. Go ahead, Councillor Siemens.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. This is an interim budget, as explained. It so allows us to pay our bills till our final budget is approved sometime at the, I believe it's at the end of March, before it goes to the province for final approval. So it gives us the dollars to pay the bills, which is what we need to do. So we need to approve it.
Any further
Nothing further.
comments?
Thank you.
Anything further, council? In closing? Call for the question. All those in favor? Opposed? That is carried. Council, we have 9C. This is the ICIP grant extension, the event center resolution. Mr. Worthing, do you want to introduce this file, please?
Yes, Mr. Mayor, members of council. This particular item was recommended by the Federal Office of the Canada Infrastructure Program. As the event center project was determined late in December of 2024 that we would not be able to meet the anticipated December 31st, 2024 completion deadline. For granting purposes and for administrative purposes, that federal office has requested that the City of Steinbach propose and submit an amended completion date in order to comply and also permit the full completion of all of the site works and everything else for the site. Recommendation is for council to adopt October 31st, 2025 as the revised completion date. And that is solely for grant administration purposes.
Thank you, Mr. Worthing. Council, how would you like to proceed? Councillor Penner?
Motion to approve?
Second by Councillor Penner. Go ahead, Councillor Penner.
Yeah, this is basically more of a housekeeping issue when it comes to granting and not the date when the facility will be available to use, which we hope will be in the next, I'll say, in the coming months. So nobody panic. Nobody panic. We will be in the facility before October 31st, but this is just for granting purposes.
Thank you. Anything further?
Nothing further.
Anything further of council? Anything in closing?
No.
Call for the question. All those in favor? Opposed? That is carried. Okay, we've got 9D, the RBC Borowing resolution on page 6. This too is a matter of housekeeping. This is something very routine. This is just allowing us to have I guess, an overdraft, a line of credit so that we can pay our bills, so we can continue to operate till we approve our budget. So council, just looking for a motion to move the motion. Councillor Hebert, second by Councillor Hebert. Any comments?
No comments. Thank you.
Anything further?
None. Thank you.
Okay. Call for the question. All those in favor? Opposed? That is carried. Okay, we got 9E. This is the AMM Correspondence. This is referring to the R.C.M.P. third round of collective bargaining. Mr. Worthing, could you please introduce this file?
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. The City of Steinbach, along with 20 other municipalities in Manitoba, receive services from the R.C.M.P. for municipal policing purposes. And nationally, the R.C.M.P. is going through contract negotiations to renew their operating contract or employment contracts. The recommendation from AMM was to consider sending, or at least adopting and sending a letter to the federal government officials that are responsible for those contract negotiations in order to further the cities and the balance of the Manitoba municipalities receiving R.C.M.P. services in order to look after the municipality's best interest. If council is prepared to send that letter, a draft of which is included in the agenda package. Administration would revise it accordingly for the city of Steinbach and send that document off to the federal government as was proposed by the AMM.
Thank you, Mr. Orting. Council, would you like to proceed? Councilor Swagstra.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. I think it makes sense for us to advocate here on behalf of the city. So I'll make a motion that the city forward a letter using this as our template to send it to the appropriate officials. And I'll make the motion. If there's a seconder, then I'll explain.
Okay. Do we have a seconder? Councilor Penner. Go ahead, Councilor Swagstra.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. We are one of 21 municipalities in Manitoba that have a contract with the R.C.M.P. And the way that it works is that the municipality is responsible for either 70% or 90% of the total cost. Now, because of our size as a city, we have to pay 90% of the total cost. And so we have a certain number of officers. In our case, we pay for 18, and we designate the number of officers we want to have. We then pay for the service. The challenge is that now that the R.C.M.P. are entitled to collective bargaining, the federal government negotiates with them. And in the last round of collective bargaining, the federal government negotiated a 23.7% retroactive pay increase, which obviously has a significant impact on municipal budgets. Now, in our city, of course, our staff ensured that we did set some money aside to help cover that cost, but it still leads to a liability there that can impact municipalities because we have no control over what amount gets negotiated. And as AMM has noted, the questionnaire that went out dealing with identifying bargaining priorities for the upcoming round of negotiation, the municipal members on that committee were not consulted about what's going to be in that questionnaire. And certainly because we're paying the bill, we are paying, in our case, 90% of the cost of the contract, and smaller municipalities are paying 70%, we should be getting a lot more say than what we're getting now. And so in concert with other municipalities through AMM, it makes sense for us to advocate here and to make it clear that if we're going to continue to paying the bill, and we're going to continue to have R.C.M.P. as that we're hiring on a contract basis, we should have some say over what the priorities are in regards to upcoming rounds of collective bargaining, because we're the ones who have to pay the bulk of the cost. And so I think it makes sense for us to use this letter as a template that was helpfully drafted by AMM, revise it to make it specific to our needs as a city, and then send it off to the appropriate federal and provincial officials, so that way it's clear that we agree with the other municipalities that have raised concerns on this.
Thank you. Anything further, Councilor Penner?
Yeah, it's really easy to spend other people's money, and that seems to be a little bit of the case here. What's it to the federal government, what the agreement ends up being if they don't have to pay for it. And so as Councillor Swagstra was saying, it is imperative that municipalities have a voice in these discussions as to what our priorities are, what the agreement states, what the final numbers are. It makes no sense for a government that's really 2 steps above us to be negotiating this on our behalf. So I think it's really important we advocate, along with the rest of AMM, advocate for what's best for our communities.
Thank you very much. Council, anything further? Anything in closing? Yeah, Council, I also agree. I believe that this letter will help if all 21 municipalities get together in Manitoba and do this, send this letter. It will help give us a voice. I totally agree that it's wrong that some multi or higher level government, two levels higher than us, gets to decide what we're going to end up paying, because we are paying 90% of the bill for our R.C.M.P. We're happy to pay. We want to get the service, but we also want to have say in what that service is going to look like and what that bill is going to look like. Call for the question. All those in favor? Opposed? That is carried. Okay, Council, we have the Manitoba Hydro is referring to Kootenay Way Street Lighting Resolution, page 10. These are 6 lights that will be added to Kootenay Way, and it'll come at a bill of $1,059.12 per year Council, this is just routine. We just need to, motion to approve the, the street lighting resolution. Looking for a motion to approve. Councillor Hebert, second by Councillor Hebert. Any comments?
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. I guess we do have to pay for lighting, and we do need lighting to make it safe, and so I would approve. Thank you.
Here.
Anything further? Okay, call for the question. All those in favor? Opposed? That is carried. Council, are there any questions of council at this time? Okay, seeing none. We've got 11A. This is Correspondence Petitions. This is JCAP Library Minutes, November 13th, 2024. Take it as information at this time. Okay. Then we've got the 11B, we've got Seine Roseau Watershed District Minutes, November 19th, 2024, December 16th, and December 17th, all of 2024. Council, take as information at this time. Okay. And under 12, other business, we've got the Seine River Roseau Watershed District Board Member Appointment. We've had a councillor step down from the board. This is Jake Hebert. Thank you so much for what you've done on the board. You've done a great job representing our city, and I want to thank you very much for
Thank you, Mr. Mayor.
your time on the board and all you've done and the many boards you've been on. But that leaves us with a hole, and we have to appoint another councillor. So it's my job to do that. So I'm going to be appointing Councillor Bill Hebert to that position. And we also have, it was made aware to me, I had called Joey and he told me that we needed a community rep. So that's a ratepayer. And so I've talked with a landowner in our area, which is Kevin Pancratz. And he's very environmentally friendly. He understands water and drainage and retention. And so he will be on that Sub-District 7 board as well. Okay. So council, I'm looking for a resolution to ratify those two appointments. Councillor Penner, second by Councillor Swaistra. Go ahead. Any comments?
No, thank you to, like you said, thank you to Councillor Jake Hebert, and good luck to Councillor Bill Hebert.
Thank you.
Anything further?
Well, thank you, Mr. Mayor. At least we're keeping a Hebert on the board. There's some continuity there. And I appreciate Councillor Jake Hebert's work on the board. He was on there for many years, served as chair, and did an excellent job there. And I'm confident that Councillor Bill Hebert will continue in that legacy. And I think your choice of a community representative is very good. So I think these are good appointments.
Okay, anything further? Okay, well, thank you very much, and I'll call for the question. All those in favor? Opposed? That is carried. Looking for a motion to adjourn? Councillor Penner, second by Councillor Hebert. Call for the question. All those in favor? Opposed? That is carried. Next regular council meeting is Tuesday, January 21, 2025 at 7:30. Thank you. And council.